Across the line then for the start of our penultimate final, the Junior Rotax final. And a bit spread out there at the front of the field, but it is a valid start. Weather beginning to close in and affect what's going on out there on the circuit. The lights are on, and that's making a huge difference. It's nowhere near as bright as it looks on our cameras. Battle for the lead. Grip at a premium here. St. John's, turn 1, 14 down the inside. Trying to get through. Daniel Armstrong has got through into the lead. From the 34, where does Max Edmondson come from? He came from row 2. Tristan Rennie's dropped back a bit, but it's 12 that leads. Daniel Armstrong, he was on the outside of the first row. Second place for Max Edmondson. What a great start that was.
Awful conditions out there. The track is now so cold. Those tyres will be.
You don't need the wet on it to make it slippy.
No, not at all. But it is. We've just had a bit of a shower there, and then it's gone away, and the wind's gonna. It's just horrible. It's so damp and slippery out there. The drivers are scrabbling for grip. They can't get any traction. And in these more powerful Rotax engines karts now, what we're seeing, and the Mini Maxes, when you put that throttle in, you're going to spin those back wheels.
Yeah.
So you've got to modulate the throttle. You've got to be very gentle.
No traction control, no ABS. The only thing that you are controlling this car with are 2 pedals and the feel from your hands, your feet and your backside. Yep. This is absolute grassroots racing at its finest. And Daniel Armstrong has pulled out a decent lead here. He has a look over his right shoulder as he heads down into the centre S's right in front of us here in the commentary box. Second position, Max Edmondson's had a cracking start. Tristan Rennie down into third position, losing a couple of positions on that first lap. Tyler Jex going backward as well. Sophie Kinghorn in the Minimax, the leader in the Minimax, up to 5th position overall.
Do you know why? That doesn't surprise me. They've got a bit of a restrictor
bit less
on the
power.
engine, bit less power. So, a bit easier to drive in these conditions. The more power, the more you're able to spin those wheels and lose traction. So the Minimax, it's going to kind of bring them together. It's going to be a bit of an equaliser, if you like, a wetter track.
Well, there'll be a few drivers looking at this now and wondering what to do. Absolute commitment from all of these drivers and teams and from the staff here at Warden Law Kart Club and Karting North East. Daniel Armstrong not lacking any commitment either as he goes through the dogleg, kicks up the right-hand side wheels. He's on full dry settings there. He's pushed the wheels right out as far as they can go.
Is he on wet tyres, though, or is he on slicks?
No, he's on slicks.
Wow, really?
He is on slicks. He's gambled, Joe. There's no compromise there whatsoever. He's on slicks and I would say he's on full dry settings there.
Yeah, you know what? I think we have got a dry track. It's just cold. And all right, he's not carrying as much grip as he would do on a very fine day. It's still a tricky car to drive in these cold conditions, but he is finding traction, he is finding grip, and he's finding performance. 1 minute 1 was his lap time last time. But let's see what it is this time.
It's quicker.
Daniel Armstrong,
Massively quicker.
57.9. The track has come back to us.
But Edmondson's quicker still. Quicker still, wow, Edmondson
yes.
at 57.7 by only a couple of tenths. But that means the lead is just about a second, just over a second at the moment. And Max Edmondson on the 34 kart is beginning to find his pace. Also, well under 60 seconds, Tristan Rennie with a 58.1 has pulled out 5 seconds now on Tyler Jex, who is in third position. Magic stuff from the top 3, all under a minute last time around. And that takes some doing in these conditions. Far side of the circuit from us then.
Absolutely does take quite a bit of finesse and also local knowledge. And Daniel Armstrong does know this track and where the grip is in these conditions.
He looks so comfortable though, Joe, doesn't he, with the kart moving around?
You know what though, doesn't Max Edmondson also look very comfortable? And let's see what the gap is. Max Edmondson, 56.5. 56.9. So this time, Daniel Armstrong's quicker. Max Edmondson, not as quick, but still quick enough.
Joe, it's raining. The rain that we've been expecting has arrived, and it's raining properly out there. It's an open meeting. They could have put wet tyres on if they want, and the top 3 are together. And now it's all about finding grip. They'll have to adjust their lines. Can't get the karts to turn in. Battle for second behind the leader. The number 12, Daniel Armstrong, Max Edmondson and Tristan Rennie side by side. And the leader's off. The leader's off, but he's managed to hold it and didn't go onto the grass at the centre S's. That was supreme kart control, but right now there's no doubt that there's zero grip out there, and all they're doing now is pitter-pattering around. The lap times will go out, and here comes Max Edmondson. Max Edmondson, he's got the confidence at the moment. Now, is that overconfident? This part of the track much drier, Joe. It's coming in from the western end of the circuit. We've got yellow lights in Zone 2 and Zone 3. Top 3 coming back together as they come to back Marcus, who is struggling even more. Yellow flags at the start-finish line because we've got problems down at turn 1. Here come the leaders. The yellow flags are out. The pass is made before the yellow flag, though. And that is Mark Edmondson going into the lead, and he can't be passed here because the yellow flags are out. He's got to wait for a green. Coming through, Brian's Bend. And it's, you're not going to believe this, Joe. I think it stopped again.
I think it has.
It's just
enough to douse the track, just to make it a bit slippery, just to mix it up a bit. What I was going to say, I was going to continue running. Look at how wet we are at the Centre S there. Look at how wet we are at St John's through there. Look at the track.
Track's
we're cutting
all green
the
again,
path
Joe.
through the damp. Now we're going to take the outside line,
Have
turn
to.
the lock on, then it finds the grip because the tarmac gives you it.
Armstrong nearly ran at the back of Edmondson there. Didn't mean to. He just can't get that kart to grip. He's got the back end so wide on that kart, Joe, that he can't get the front to turn. It's just pushing him forwards. I said he'd gone for a non-compromise setup. He's gone for a full dry setup, and I think that's costing him now. He just can't get it to turn in.
And he's having to use all of that curb on the inside of the back chicane just to give himself enough room because he's got too much understeer. See how he turns the wheel?
Sophie Kinghorn up to 4th overall in the Mini-Max. She might be overall on the podium here.
Absolutely, wouldn't surprise me.
She's right in behind Tristan Rennie now.
Would not surprise me. I don't know what tyre she's on. There was a few on that grid with wet tyres.
Really?
And that, absolutely. And this
they have a crystal ball?
To them. Here we go. That kart in 3rd place, which is Tristan. Is that Tristan?
That's
Rennie?
Sophie. Sophie's in 3rd now. That's Sophie on the blue and white
Kinghorn,
kart.
yeah.
Is she on wet?
I believe so. Look at the width of the tyre.
She's going to win this.
That's a wet tyre.
She's going to win this. We're at half distance.
Look at the difference in the grip that Sophie's producing there.
If she's
down the inside,
the inside,
she can pick a line.
Yeah.
She can pick a line on those tyres.
She's going to win this on the Mini-Max. She's going to win this on the Mini-Max. No doubt in my mind at all. If it stays like this, she's going through to take the victory. She's up to 2nd already. Half distance here. Nice and gentle, and she can just pick a point on the circuit. As Bradley says, she's in the lead.
Yeah.
Magnificent stuff. Started in 8th position on the grid, and now leads Mini-Max and the overall Junior Rotax final. Now, she's going to get the trophy for winning, but to win against the Junior Rotax on the Mini-Max, that's a very measured drive. Something like prophetic tyre choice.
Yeah, I was going to say a very good term, actually, prophetic tyre choice. We've all been there. We've all decided to roll the dice and hope that the rain comes. Well, for Sophie Kinghorn, that is exactly what has happened. And just look at that, the way that she's able to just pull out of go through the corner and pull out of those corners. It's all down to those tyres enabling her to do that.
Well, she's still got to drive the kart, mate. I mean,
absolutely.
She's got to get the best. On. She's been the absolute tip-top of Mini-Max all day. I mean, she's putting a lap on Jay Smith there in the Mini-Max. And last time around, she lapped in a 1:14. So some 6 seconds quicker than anybody else on the circuit. Lucas Jex did a 17, actually. I'll take that back. So I wonder if he's on wets as well. That's another Mini-Max runner. Lucas is 2nd in the Mini-Max at the moment. But this is an absolute clinic by Sophie Kinghorn. Yes, she's on the right tyres at the right time. Still had to drive. Let's go back and have a look at 2nd place. Max Edmondson and Daniel Armstrong, who are battling for the overall Junior Rotax title there. That's the 34 and the 12 cars. They're about a second apart. But they are now some 5 seconds behind Sophie, who's driving off into the distance, picking their way through traffic now. Here they come into the horseshoe, Joe. And it's still the 34 of Max Edmondson who has the advantage. But he's really struggling for grip, trying to find that outside line. Daniel Armstrong, I don't think the setup of the kart's helping him.
No, he definitely had a dry setup on that car, didn't he? They're still together. They're both slipping and sliding.
Oh, it's Lucas Jex has come through.
Their way. Lucas Jex up and
that's another Mini-Max runner.
So that he's ahead of Edmondson and Armstrong, who we're looking at now.
Yes, correct. So we've got Minimax drivers in first and second, 7.5 seconds between them. Then this battle for the junior Rotax, 34 and 12. So it looks to me as though Daniel Armstrong has managed to get a little more of a handle on that kart. It just does not want to turn at all. He's very quick off the corners and very brave on the brakes. But what he's not getting is any kind of turning on that kart at all.
And then any kind of traction. Just look as he slithers through the centre S, the second part of the centre S. Very slippery indeed. Gets out onto the concrete as well. There's very little grip out there, using all of the curb just to give themselves the room because they haven't got the turn in. It's like not being able to turn the kart into the corner.
Sophie's getting quicker in the bad weather. 112 last time around against a 114 from Lucas, 117 from Max Edmondson in third position. These two battling for the junior Rotax part of this race. This is outstanding stuff. The weather has really thrown a double six here, hasn't it? It's basically pull a chance card. It's fantastic stuff. It's all going on here at Warden Law. What an end. And we've still got the senior Rotax final, which has been bonkers in a good way all day through the heats.
It really has.
And now, I mean, what do you put on these carts down there? There's wets, there's dries, there's people walking around, casting the runes, reading tea leaves. What's the weather going to do?
I just saw Dave Fletcher putting Kyle's card back on the trolley to enable him to put the wets on.
It's got to be, I think you've got to go wets. Well, you've seen what Sophie's done here.
Yeah, definitely.
Edmondson still battling Armstrong. Sophie, by the way, is just driving away. 32.
It's kind of we've got two races in one here, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got both Minimax drivers, Sophie Kinghorn and Lucas Jex, ahead on wets, and then we've got the battle of the slicks. Max Edmondson and
Tyler
Daniel
Jex has
Armstrong
just had a spin.
with the Rotax
and a
Juniors.
spin there as well.
Who's that? Is that one of our?
Yeah, that was who we were watching. That was the 12 of Daniel Armstrong with a spin at the hairpin. So all that hard work to get to the back of Daniel to Max Edmondson has gone astray. Nick, if we can we go back to Sophie, please, at the front of the field? She's gradually being reeled in by Lucas Jex. All of a sudden, Lucas has found the handling. He's taken a second and a half off her last time around. So the 5 kart being caught was over 7.5 seconds, now down to under 5 seconds. There she is on the far side of the circuit, coming through the back chicane.
That kart behind her, John, is not Lucas Jex. He's 2 karts behind,
Correct.
but he is gaining. So when we see Sophie Kinghorn going into
Not that one.
It's not the kart behind her, it's the
one
after
behind that.
Yes. Now
well, that's not 4 seconds, is it?
No, it's not. And we're going to find out exactly what it is any moment now. They're getting towards the end of the lap here at Warden Law. We're going to cross the line. They're going to be given
Look how dark
the
it is
last
now.
lap board. Yeah, it's gone dark very quick.
Somebody's turned the sun off.
Well,
last
that
lap
rain,
board.
If that rain comes, it's going to be torrential here
Yeah,
for
I
the
agree.
Rotax Senior Final.
Last lap. And Sophie Kinghorn leads by 2.7 seconds. Lucas Jex, look behind that blue and white kart. Look behind, and there he is. Lucas hoving into view on the number 26. This is not over at all. Not over at all.
Time's running out for Lucas, though. He's gaining hand over fist. What were the lap times there? 2 seconds a lap he took out of her last time.
On the centre S's at the moment, you're going to see him any second now. There he is going through. She's got half a lap to go. Sophie Kinghorn sitting well away from the lead. The very sort of Sterling Moss type of driving style with the hands halfway down the steering wheel and very relaxed, very stretched out. Not good for endurance driving, but she's only now got half a lap to go, quarter of a lap to go to take this Junior Rotax final, to win the Minimax and to win overall. Where is Jex? There he is. He's not going to catch her. He's not going to catch her. Sophie Kinghorn is going to take this win. What a run through the field for the Minimax
Fabulous
driver. Absolutely great stuff. Across the line.
And Lucas Jex with a second. Kart 14 just appeared underneath us. Rocco Baker. I don't know where.
He spun right
from.
in front of the leader as she crossed the line. Max Edmondson holds on to third overall. That means he'll win the junior Rotax category. Then it's Daniel Armstrong, who was nearly caught by Oliver Buchan, who's third in the Minimax. And Tristan Rennie, it's been the survival of the fittest out there. Yeah. I think Tristan Rennie in the 70 on the 74 kart will come through. There's 2 karts coming towards me now. It's so dark I can't tell which ones they are. Yes, it was. It was Tristan Rennie who went through into third position in the Junior Rotex Max. Oh, take a deep breath.
I've got Sophie Kinghorn, Mini Max, winning a Junior Rotax final overall. Now, you're not supposed to do that on Mini Max, are you?
No.
So what made you do it?
Well, most of the juniors were on slicks, and the track became really wet, so I was on enters.
So, tell me, Sophie, whose inspired choice of tyres was that then?
Mine.
Excellent. Well, so what made you think of wets then? Because it wasn't raining when you guys started. It only began to rain when you were racing.
I just do better on wets.
Right.
So I just decided to.
Well, it was inspired, and you went on to win. Is that the first time you've won overall?
No.
So, as a Mini Max driver, you've beaten all the Junior Rotax before?
No.
All right, that's what I meant. So, as a Mini Max driver, you beat all the Junior Rotax guys?
No.
That's the first time?
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's an overall win, you know. Not just a class win. It's called a class win when you're in Mini Max. Well done, Sophie Kinghorn. Absolutely awesome drive. We were absolutely loving your drive. Can you do that again in April?
Yeah.
Of course you can. Thanks, Sophie. Have we got our Junior Rotax as well? Come on over here, man. Who was it, of course? It was Max, wasn't it? You're Max, I hope. You Max? Well, Max, that was a bit disappointing because it was all spoiled for you by the weather, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, you were on slicks in a wet track, yeah?
Yeah.
You're going to have to say more than yeah, Max. Come on, tell me about your race.
Well, everyone in my grid just went slicks, so if one of us was going to mess it up, all of us was going to mess it up, so we just went with it.
It was very tricky conditions out there, and I thought you two guys, the guy, Daniel, is it, that you were battling with, you showed great kart control.
Yeah, I just basically just learned what I've learned over the years, so...
I can tell by your accent that you're a local here. You must know this place like the back of your hand, do you?
Yeah, I've raced here, like, this is where I started, so...
Yeah. And is it a tricky place to find the grip?
Well, I've been here a while, so obviously I know where I'm going, but yeah, it's quite hard.
Well done. I can see you're disappointed not getting the overall win and having too many Maxes past you, but you were the first kart on slicks, so that's something, isn't it? Well done, Max. Thanks for talking to us. Great stuff. Thanks, guys.